I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. We'll take up two excellent questions where we'll find limits using substitution or rationalization. We'll also understand when not to use substitution. The very first question here is find the limit x approaches 0 for 2x plus 1 to the power of 1 over 3 minus 1 divided by x. And the second one here is limit when x approaches 4 for 2 minus square root of x divided by 3 minus square root of 2x plus 1. Now in these questions, if I substitute x equals to 0, so if I sub x equals to 0 here, I get 0 plus 1 to the power of 1 over 3 minus 1 over 0, and that is 0 over 0. In the second question, limit is approaching 4. So if I substitute 4 here, I get 2 minus square root of 4 over 3 minus square root of 2 times 4 is 8, so I get 9, right? Which is again 0 over 0, right? So 2 minus square root of 4 is 2 and square root of 9 is 3. So that is to say that these are indeterminate forms. And that really means that we do have a common factor in both numerator and denominator. So the techniques which can be used to solve such questions is we could use a couple of techniques in this case. So we could use three techniques here. So we could use factoring. So you could factor or you could substitute, or you could rationalize. Right? L'Hopital's rule can also be applied, but we'll stick to the basics at present. So in the very first case, we could actually use these two techniques for question number 1. However, for question number 2, these are very difficult to apply. Whenever you see those kinds of radicals, especially in both numerator and denominator, we should do rationalization, correct? So in this part, you have understood when to apply what kind of technique for an easy solution. So now, let's solve question number 1 using one of these techniques. Let's do substitution to solve the first question. So we need to find the limit when x approaches 0 for 2x plus 1 to the power of 1 over 3, that's the cube root, minus 1 over x. So what we can do here is that we can substitute the radical part, which is 2x plus 1 to the power of 1 over 3 with some other variable, let it be p. In that case, 2x plus 1 is equal to p cube, and so we could also write this as 2x equals to p cube minus 1, or x is half of p cube minus 1. Okay. So we replace the variable. Now we should also look into the limit part of this. When x approaches 0, in that case, p approaches what? In that case, 2x plus 1 to the power of 1 over 3 approaches 1, correct? If I write 0 here, and therefore p approaches 1. So now we could actually substitute and find the limit, if it exists. It is important to note that limit may or may not exist. Okay, So we can write the given question, which is limit x approaches 0 for 2x plus 1 to the power of 1 over 3 minus 1 over x as equal to limit x approaches, p approaches p. 1, right? We are replacing this term with p minus 1 over. Denominator is half of p cube minus 1. Clear? So we could write this as limit p approaches 1, numerator is p minus 1, and we need to factor p cube minus 1. Well, this half can be written as times 2, right? Okay, so let's write it as 2 times. P cube minus 1 can be factored as p minus 1 times p square plus p plus 1, correct? So that is how you could factor it. Now clearly p minus 1 and p minus 1 cancel, and therefore you are left with limit p approaches 1 2 over p square plus p plus 1. Substituting 1 now, what we get here is 2 over 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 2 over 3. And therefore, the limit x approaches 0 for the cube root of 2x plus 1 minus 1 over x is equal to 2 over 3. Is it absolutely clear? Perfect. Let's move on and take the second question. Now, as you can see, we could have used this factorization here also, right? However, substitution is a better technique in this case. Now let's take up question number 2. We have already seen that it's indeterminate form, where substituting 4 will give us 0 over 0. So we'll rationalize, right? So we are using rationalization. Now in this case, you need to rationalize both numerator and denominator, since we have that square root term in numerator and denominator. So we'll rationalize both numerator and denominator. So that makes this question really difficult to be solved by any other technique. I mean, factoring or by substitution. So rationalization, this process will be something like this. We have 2 minus square root of x over 3 minus square root of 2x plus 1. So we'll multiply and divide by the conjugate of 2 minus square root of x, numerator, which is 2 plus square root of x, and also by conjugate of 3 minus square root 2x plus 1, and that is 3 plus. So conjugate means get it of the form a minus b times a plus b, right? Is that clear to you? Now, multiplying these two terms, we get what? We get a square minus b square, that is, we get 4 minus x, correct? Now, multiplying these two terms will give us 9 minus 2x plus 1. And what we didn't multiply, we'll write now, which is in the numerator, we use 3 plus square root of 2x plus 1. And in the denominator, it was 2 plus square root of x. Is that clear to you? Correct? So we use the concept that a plus b times a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So you multiplied these two in the numerator and those two in the denominator. To get difference of squares, getting rid of the square root terms. And now we can actually cancel the common terms. Okay, so we'll simplify this to get clearly what is the common term. So we have 4 minus x over 9 minus 2x gives us and minus 1, 8 minus 2x. And the numerator here is 3 plus square root of 2x plus 1 over 2 plus square root of x. So we have limit x approaches 0, 4 minus x in the numerator. The denominator is 8 minus 2x. You can take 4 common, right? So taking 4 common, rather 2 common, right? We get 4 minus x. And here we have 3 plus square root of 2x plus 1 divided by 2 plus square root of x. Now we can cancel the common factor 4 minus x. So the limit when x approaches 0, we got 0 over 0 mainly because of this common factor, correct? This got cancelled. And now we can find the answer by substituting 0 here, right? So we will write this as limit x approaches 0 for 3 plus square root of 2x plus 1, which is effectively the conjugate of denominator. And the conjugate of numerator, which is 2 plus square root of x. And we also have a term here, half times, right? So let me write half separately here. Is that clear to you? Now we'll substitute 0 to get our answer. So what we get here is, when I substitute 0 here, I get half times 3 plus 1 over 2 plus 1. And so this limit is basically equal to half times 3 plus 1 is 4 over 2 plus 1 is 3. Or we get 2 over 3. Is it clear? So the answer here is 2 over 3. Perfect. So that is how we can find limit of such a question. I hope that makes sense. So it is kind of important to understand when to apply which technique and how to apply it. Feel free to write your comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.